Hello. This is the first video from Sailing Vessel Espiritu Milagro, inspired by my good friend Franklin Dickinson, a solo sailor for a long time, very experienced, has his own channel, fun to watch, has given me some super advice. Espiritu Milagro means miracle spirit. She is the first vessel in the fleet for a company I created, Sailing X, for sailing adventures. So I've been in the Bahamas mostly solo sailing since the end of January. Covered a lot of ground and learned a lot. And so it's been a good experience for the enterprises for Sailing X. Scuba diving, done a lot of diving, lots of great places to dive, happy to teach people. Spear fishing, scuba spear fishing, which I found out is not legal in the Bahamas, so I haven't done much of that, except for lionfish because they're dangerous. Fishing, I have my tuna and mahi line ready to toss out here in a minute. I'm in the perfect depth and it's perfect trolling speed today on these conditions. I'm absolutely terrified I'm going to catch a tuna. I don't know what I'm going to do with her if I do, but nonetheless, that's one of the enterprises for Sailing X, and for someone who might like to cruise for a couple of weeks, just go island hopping, cay hopping, city to city, whatever. Some of my friends would be bar to bar. We can do that too. One thing I've learned about cruisers, which is what I am. A cruiser is, as opposed to a blue water sailor who sails from here to France. A cruiser is someone who does just that, island to island, cay to cay, city to city, marina to marina. And so of cruisers, I think I've discovered there are three types. There are cruisers who like to winter out in the Bahamas in a marina. So I'm going to Ocean Reef Marina here in the Grand Bahamas. Get there in about 4 hours or so, and I'm going to find out what that's like. I might like it. I don't know. I think I will. But that's one type of cruiser. Another kind of cruiser is what I've been doing for the past 6 days. I have been going 4 to 7 hours a day, K to K. Night before last, I was out in the middle of nowhere, great sail K, 8 hours from any land, and anchored, and it was a interesting night. And so that's what some cruisers do. They're constantly on the water. I'm surprised that I've enjoyed it. I'm having a good time doing exactly what you can see in the background, just sailing. And great day to sail, nice winds, it's pretty calm, you can see the seas. I'm going about 6 knots or so and about a 11, 12 knot wind. I'm on a close reach, so wind a little bit to the front. You can see the sails. I'll show the sails here in a minute. And then the third kind of cruiser, like my good friends Sue and Bob Rudd that I met in Spanish Wells, Eleuthera at a marina in there, and they were staying 2 weeks, and they go island to island or marina to marina, and they had rented a golf cart, took me to a wonderful restaurant out on the point of Spanish Wells, had a great dinner. We toured the island, learned a bit about the island, its history, its culture, and it was fun. And I enjoy that too. So at least I think for me, and maybe for many of you, you might like any of the three types of sailing. Could give you just a quick around of Espiritu Milagro. She is, as you know, a French boat. I'll show you a little more of her in a minute. One thing I've learned about sailboats in general, we see all these lines everywhere, is, the lines control pretty much everything on the boat except cooking. And I've discovered that one of the things about sailing in lines is that if a line isn't all tangled up, it's going to get tangled up. Even if you don't get near it, somehow it ends up all tangled up. And if I step down here in the galley, if I can avoid stepping on my tuna rod, just give a quick view. So, she's a French boat, as you know, and it's a bit bouncy now. you know, the French make an average sailboat. She sails pretty well. I've had a great time. But one thing they do exceptionally well is build great wine cellars. Look at that wine cellar. Isn't that amazing? I've got just about everything you'd want in there. You look around quickly. They say she sleeps 7. I have had, for the first 3 weeks of this adventure in January, 5 people on board. And that was not very comfortable. So I'd say probably 4 comfortable. She's modern, 2022. You can see a nice modern electronics here in the nav station, refrigerator, stove, microwave, and then a freezer. So I've got enough food in here for 3 months. And then a nice storage compartment with diving gear and fishing gear and plenty of water. A sleeping bag to sleep out on the bow if I want to do that. I found that I'm sleeping outside every night instead of in the comfy queen-size bed up there. So I've been sleeping, you know, laying out my pillow, you know, right here. And well, we got to pick up in wind, so I'm going to have to tread carefully, because none of us want this video. Wow, look at that. We picked up a lot of wind. We're going 7.5 knots on 13, 14 knots of wind, you know, on a close reach, so the sails are trimmed appropriately for those of you who are sailors. She is a 41-foot sailing vessel. You can see clearly the Genoa, so close haul, you know, up there. Those are carbon sails. I didn't mean to buy a racing boat. That's just all that was available. So I guess if you're interested in sailing adventures, you know, learning to race or to go fast on a sailboat could be something that you might want to do, bouncing around a bit. So last thing I'll say before I sign off on this first video is that I've done a lot, many courses through the St. Augustine Sailing School, and I can say this, they are amazing instructors. Chris and Kim and Nuri, you know, 3 of the instructors I had. I learned one thing, you know, after 3 months out here by myself, I'm still not a very good sailor, but I'm better than I was 3 months ago. And that's what Chris said. You're always getting better. And I learned something every day, mostly rookie mistakes that I shouldn't make again. So, like dropping you see in the background, my outboard for my dinghy. I've lost one outboard in the ocean, scuba dived down to get it at 20 feet of water, and had to buy another one. That's another video story. But would strongly, you know, anybody who wants to learn to sail, St. Augustine Sailing Academy is just marvelous, and the people are very nice, and this wouldn't be possible. I'm quite comfortable out here. I'm going to have to hang up quick because a Genoa just slipped on the winch there, and I'm going to have to trim my sails a bit. We picked up to 17 knots of wind, so I ought to be going 8 knots or more, so I need to trim my sails, so I'm going to sign off. But, you know, if anybody who watches this video wants to come on as a customer, I'd love to have you. Or if you're just a friend and come out, then you're more than welcome. There's the coast, the Grand Bahama coast. I'm sailing south for about 3 or 4 more hours before I settle in at Ocean Reef Yacht Club this afternoon for a few days. And hope that you've enjoyed the video.